It's Luke Riley-Holland from the W Club here. I'm delighted to be joined with Scott Stewart, who's the distillery manager here at Tobermory on the Isle of Mull, coming live from the distillery. So we're just going to have a chat with Scott about his kind of experience in the industry and what happens here in the production of Tobermory and Ledaig. So thank you, Scott, for joining us.
Well, a pleasure.
Firstly, I suppose, in terms of your own background, what journey brought you here? Because you're only here recently, aren't you? Started in Tobermory.
Yeah, I've only been here 2 months. So before here, I was the production manager in Ardnamurchan. So as the crow flies, it's not very far. So I've just come across the water from there. I was at Ardnamurchan for 7.5 years. So not far to travel at all, really. But I think I was probably the only person that applied for the job here that was coming from somewhere more remote.
All right, I thought you weren't like literally the only candidate. No?
Well, not that I know of it. So I was at Ardnamurchan for 7.5 years. Before that, I lived in Glasgow and I'd done something completely different. I worked in telecoms, really boring, in a high-rise office in the centre of Glasgow. So the thing that got me in Ardnamurchan was actually just moving to the peninsula. I just had the opportunity to join the distillery. Went in as a warehouse operator. Absolutely loved it. Ardnamurchan grew. I then moved through production, so went from warehouse operator to production supervisor, and then production manager quite quickly. Some of that is to do with luck and timing, I suppose. But that's how I've ended up where I am now.
I'm sure plenty was your own talent and acumen as well.
I like to tell myself that.
So obviously you've only been here 2 months, but for you, what does a day in the life here at Tobermory?
Well, I'm lucky or unlucky, I suppose. It depends how you look at it, that my house is literally within the distillery. So I get up in the morning, and my morning commute is a 5-minute walk. 15 minutes if I go to the bakery first and get myself a roll of bacon. So I come into the distillery, the guys that started at 7 are there already. We have our morning meeting, sit down, have a coffee, go through all the numbers, all the health and safety stuff and all that we've got, inform them of how their day is going to look as well, how the distillery is performing overall, have a coffee, have a chat, move through to the office, and then from that point onwards really, then speaking to the other distilleries. It's one of the things I've really enjoyed since coming here is the collaboration between Tasting and Bunnahabhain and ourselves. Because I'm coming in, I've only been here 2 months, structure of the place is a bit different from Ardnamurchan. I've been able to lean on the distillery managers there, Murray and Andrew Brown, and they've been really supportive and helpful and sort of getting me settled in here. And then from there I'll just be looking at how we're performing really. Efficiency wise, and I think the good thing about being a manager is you get to step back from the production and think about sort of longer term projects and plans and stuff, and I haven't been long enough to put any of that into any sort of practice yet, but there's little ideas that are just sparking, and I've got an assistant manager who's been here 20 years, so I just bug him with questions non-stop.
Well, that was going to be my next question, your right-hand man at the distillery, and that would be himself.
It'd be Simon Proud, so he's been here almost 20 years and he knows every nut and bolt in this place. So he is just invaluable, he is not allowed to leave.
Yeah, but that's the key to management, is to find people who are better at you, to work under you, like, you know.
Well, I've definitely done that, he's definitely better than me.
So obviously there's two malts being produced at the distillery, the Ledaig and Tobermory. Now for any of the W clubbers who are watching this, the Ledaig has become a bit of a cult dram with some of our whisky shop regulars. It's exceptional value for money, which is something I always look for as well in whisky, in terms of quality of malt versus what you actually end up paying, which is obviously, I'm just literally explained what value for money was. But in terms of how that production is split in terms of the year round, because you operate 7 days but not 24 hours, I believe, in a year. Maybe I'll let you explain it. Someone said that to me earlier on. But
other way around, we're 5 days a week, we're 24 hours.
Okay, there we go. That's
three shifts a day, morning shift, back shift, night shift, 5 days a week. Everyone gets a weekend off.
And then in terms of how that's split then, in terms of production throughout the year, is it 3 months Ledaig or is it 50-50?
It varies depending on the demand, I suppose. This year we've definitely done more Ledaig than we have done Tobermory. We have to be quite clever with our planning when we're going from peated to unpeated and vice versa, because we don't have the luxury of having separate low-ice and fence receivers, and everything sort of has to go in and through the same channels that it does, regardless of whether you're unpeated or unpeated. So if we're going from unpeated to peated, it's not such a big deal. But if we're going from peated to unpeated, you have to make sure everything's cleaned down properly, spick and span, and we're ready to go again. So you don't want to be having to do that too often during a year. So pretty much just go from unpeated to peated and stay on it for a while until we have to go back. So not jumping around all over the place.
Yeah, well, I used to manage bars for a while, and one of my favourite nights was when you were cleaning the lines, and there's like, you know, two or three pints worth of beer in the line after you unhook the keg, and you can kind of get a free pint on the establishment. Is it like that here? Like, you know, when you switch over, you get all the free low wines out or anything. the peated malt you get to take home.
Absolutely not.
But I suppose then that goes to the other question I nearly jumped ahead to. Your favourite dram from the distillery?
I really sort of gravitate towards peated whisky, so I go straight away to the Ledaig. I would say that the 18-year-old Ledaig is probably my favourite so far. The Ledaig, you know, being a 10-year-old, that will be the first bottle that comes out of here that I will have had some sort of involvement with as well. So I'm only going to have to wait 10 years rather than 12 for the Tobermory.
But there's the Rioja cask, is it the unaged one? Or with what, not unaged, but non-aged statement one, I mean. That one's a phenomenal, I think, value for money.
I will need to get round them all. the problem is I live right beside the visitor centre as well, and they keep saying, oh, just come in, and you know, if you've got anything you want to try, and I'm like, maybe not tonight, I'll leave it for tonight.
Well, the Ledaig 18 is one of the most popular drams with the whisky shop. Like it's been a huge success for us. It always has been, but I mean this year especially, it's really taken off in popularity. So I think it's testament to its value and its quality as well.
Saying about the price and the value of things, and that, I really like it when whisky is priced to drink and not priced to put away in a cupboard or put up on a shelf or something. That's priced to be enjoyed. Yeah. Because then you can actually meet more people that have tried it. And you can talk to them about it and say, oh yeah, I've tried the Ledaig. Of course you have, because it's only £41. Yeah.
No, totally. I mean, this obviously this distillery's been here since 1798, but someone in the Irish whiskey industry, I won't name names, once told me when there were all these new brands that are emerging out, and they're like, where do they find their price point? And they said, well, you look at an established brand, be it, you know, a Lagavulin or a Redbreast 12 or let's say Ledaig 18, and if you're pricing around that, you have to then turn around and be like, are we as good as that, you know? And the Ledaig 18 ticks those boxes in terms of approachability from every angle. So no, it's excellent. The last two questions of the evening, because we won't keep you long. You're a busy man. I suppose what is the sort of the most valuable skill for a distillery manager to have in your experience?
Calm head. A calm head. I've met quite a lot of distillery managers, and they're all different. They all bring different skill sets to the job, but they are all, generally speaking, quite calm and cool individuals. I think I've become one of them. I don't think I've always been one of those, but I've definitely sort of calmed down. You've got so many things going on around you, and if you want to micromanage and be involved in every single aspect of what this distillery is doing, you're not going to be able to. You're just going to drive yourself mad. Yeah. So you also have to be good at trusting people and building relationships with your team. Getting to know everyone's strengths and weaknesses, supporting them where they feel like they need supported, encouraging them where they feel like they're really strong. So relationships within a team, but also having a cool, calm head, not to panic when things go wrong, because they sometimes go wrong. That's probably the
brilliant.
Best,
and the final bonus question: what's your first memory of drinking Scotch?
Oh, okay. Real Scotch, or the stuff that you used to get from the shops around the corner?
Either or, I suppose. Both.
My first memories, I didn't drink whiskey at all when I was growing up. I was like, the closest I would have got to whiskey was probably Jack Daniels and Coke until I was about 25, 26, something like that. I think I left the job once, and they bought me as a leaving present a bottle of Glenmorangie. And I'd never really sort of been into malts or anything, but I tried it and I thought, that's interesting, because that's not like the stuff I've been drinking like they use sort of blends like white Mackay and grouse and stuff. This is interesting. So then off the back of that, I went got another different bottle. I think it's standard bottles that you would find like Glenfiddich, Glenlivet, that sort of thing, and then sort of seeing the sort of or tasting sort of nuances and differences and things. Proper whiskey, the Glenmorangie leaving present, that was definitely first proper whiskey.
So well into your 20s. So there's hope for you yet if you're watching at home and you don't like whiskey. Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for your time, Scott. It's great chatting to you. And for the little tour you gave us earlier on. So cheers. Enjoy your evening, folks.